This is how to install a head unit in a VT Commodore. Unfortunately, I did get a little ahead of myself because I was a bit excited, and I pulled the head unit out without filming it. Yeah, sorry. But that's okay, I'll show you what I did anyway. Okay. Imagine. Now what I did is I got these. Now this is just a coat hanger. All I did was, where the coat hanger comes down, cut it up. Get your wire. Make sure they can go on both holes at once. Like so. And push it in. Now the good thing about having it out though, make two of them, and push them right in, and you'll hear them click, and then pull them out. Just pull with both of them at once, and it'll come out, a centimetre, and then you can just grab it and pull it out, and that's it. I mean, it's simple as hell. Then you just pull out the aerial and pull out the plug. The plug, on that plug, if you're wondering, you squeeze the bottom. So when you got your hand in there, you squeeze the bottom in and pull it out, because that's where the little bit is. You don't squeeze the sides, you squeeze the bottom. Now, as you can see, here's the side. So what I'll do is I'll put in two of me coat hanger things, and I'll show you what's happening while you push those in. See, when you put them in, see this bit of metal, there's them. This is obviously pushed in, and when you put them in, it's pushing this in, like down, and then allowing it to come out. That's all. Anyway, we're done there. I'm going to thread through some RCA cables for my amplifiers. So if you're just installing a head unit, you don't need to do that. I'm just going to put them through there, round the back, all the way to the back. Okay, and then I'm also putting in a remote wire to turn on my amps. None of this you need to do. I'll briefly show you what I've done, but you just don't need to do this if you're just doing a stock head unit. If you're just changing, obviously if you're doing a single DIN, you have to get one of those pieces of plastic, but I'm doing a double DIN, so it's just going to slide straight in. Okay, so the rest of this video will be installing the new one. I'm going to solder up the plugs, and you'll see, and everything will be happening. So here we have the two head units side by side. Obviously the original on the left and the new one on the right. As I said, there's a considerable size difference. They are the exact same width, at least. We get a top view there. Exact same width. Obviously the new ones are maybe 8mm lower, but that's okay because the new one comes with a faceplate that goes around. Anyway, so that's how that is. So the original was obviously that shitty one. Now we want to see the actual new one I have. Here's a JVC KWXR616. It's double DIN, obviously. Change collar. You can have two different collars. So I can have like pink buttons, blue screen, whatever, you know what I mean, anything. USB and audio and auxiliary. So I can have iPod, anything I want plugged into it. Two RCA outs, so I can have 2 amps easily connected. I have a remote. I think it cost me $250, and that was just on eBay, obviously. Wiring harness. I've got to do all that shit anyway. Got to wire it all up. Got a faceplate, as I just said. Got so many instruction manuals for other countries. Actually came with that's a remote and WhatsApp. And a free iPod cable for some reason. So what I've bought, I think it was $23 Autobahn, once again, is a adapter that plugs into the car, okay, into the stock place. What I'll do is I'll just cut these two things off. Obviously there's my speakers, just there, and there's me, what do you call it, power, ground, remote, I don't know what the fuck the orange and brown one for. Probably something. I'll work it out. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do right now. Hook all that shit up. And I got to solder it all together. Got the soldering iron. It's starting to heat up. Got my solder. You know what really annoys me? I mean, I know I have to strip these wires because I'm cutting them off, but why don't the ones that come with the head units already pre-stripped? I mean, what? You're obviously going to use them, Well, that's all the wires stripped for both, and when you're doing this you will realise that there is only one on your wiring harness, a blue wire, just one, but on here there is two. There's two. Now one of them is for the aerial and one of them is for your remote if you're going to have amps. Now obviously every car has an aerial, should, so the aerial one blue, is the one that'll be on the harness, and the other one, you run an actual wire, just like a wire. It won't actually go into the harness all the way through the car to wherever the amp is. So that's how you do that one. Well, that took long enough. They're all soldered up. Next I'm going to get some electrical tape, wrap it around nice tight. I would do heat shrink, but I haven't got any. That's all that done. I haven't done the remote one yet. That's the only one I've got to do, but I'll do that. I'll do that in a minute. They're all soldered, yeah, electrical tape around it. And then we'll go thread the RCAs through and everything. And yeah, so also just pointing out, I've got a 25 watt soldering iron. It's shit. I bought new wire and it's slightly thicker than the original stuff. Here's my old stuff. The new wire is probably another half as thick, and this soldering iron has trouble melting it. So if you're going to buy a soldering iron, try and get a 40 or 50 watt, okay? I've got a 25, it's not enough. I'm going to have to buy a new one. So just a tip there. This is the end of part 1, and part 2 will be the actual putting it in and whatever, RCAs and all that crap, and listening to it and shit. So yeah, this is the end of part 1. Go and see my next video straight after this one. That's part 2.